Local rental homes shut down by the city, which is calling the property a COVID party Airbnb. Getting details on plans for students returning to school soon in Chula Vista. And the clock is ticking for people struggling with the rent, the program that's helping cover San Diegans' costs and how to apply. ABC 10 News at 11 starts right now.
ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
And we do begin with breaking news out of Bankers Hill. An Airbnb rental was shut down by the city for violating COVID-19 health orders and nearly 24 other laws. ABC 10 News reporter Jared Aarons joining us live in Bankers Hill. And Jared, neighbors there call this the party house.
Yeah, the people who live in this neighborhood say that behind these hedges and this fence, they hear noise and parties almost all the time. In fact, there was one here, they say, just yesterday. And the city police department has fielded more than a dozen calls of noise complaints from this house just since coronavirus pandemic restrictions were put in place back in March. Here's the home's listing on Airbnb. It goes for around $900 per night and says up to 12 people can stay here. In addition to the coronavirus and crowd concerns, the city attorney says the owner and managers of this house completely renovated it without permits, adding things illegally like extra bedrooms, bathrooms, a pool, and a jacuzzi. The charges say the owners also never got the proper business license for this vacation rental and hasn't been paying rental taxes or water and sewer bills. Now, we've tried reaching out to the owner and the manager. We haven't heard back from them. There was a family that was staying here. They just checked out about an hour ago. They told us they were shocked to learn about all of these charges. Live in Bankers Hill, Jared Aarons, ABC 10 News.
Jared, thank you. New today, the latest update on the coronavirus numbers here in California. The state surpassing 10,000 virus-related deaths in the latest reporting, and that puts it at the third highest of any state in the country. LA is getting the hardest hit. County accounts for nearly half of the state's deaths and more than 40% of its reported cases. Well, today is the last day San Diego renters can apply for emergency financial assistance. One-time program will provide up to $4,000 per household. Families with past due or upcoming rent payments are eligible. Payments are expected to be distributed in the next few weeks. We talked with one of the groups that's helping organize the distribution, and they say they're trying to lend a helping hand to some of the people who have been hit the hardest.
A lot of the people that are coming in work in the hotel and restaurant industry, a lot of different service industries and construction as well. So those industries have pretty much stopped. They've been receiving unemployment, but that's been paying for their day-to-day necessities.
Housing Commission says even though the deadline's tonight, the application is simple enough to complete today. Each household has to prove that they are not currently receiving any rental subsidies, and they must also prove their income was impacted by the pandemic. You can find a link to the application on our website, 10news.com. Again, that deadline is tonight at midnight. Well, new today, Chula Vista Elementary School District gave parents more details on how things will look once they're given the green light to welcome students back on campus. Our ABC 10 News reporter Vanessa Paz shows us some of their plans, along with who will be among the first allowed back.
30,000 students attend the Chula Vista Elementary School District, and the district superintendent says he wants to see students back in class as soon as possible.
We want our children to come back because we firmly believe that in-person instruction, it is the best type of instruction there is. But of course, we need to come back in a very safe manner.
Whenever students make that return back to campus, things will be very different. The district spent millions on safety measures like large sensors that take both temperature and dispense hand sanitizer, large signs, protective gear, and plexiglass.
We'll have signage throughout the school depicting the type of behaviors we expect.
Superintendent Dr. Escobedo said they've partnered with the local company Kala Bioscience to conduct routine testing for COVID. He said students will return when the county's at a low to medium risk for COVID-19, and only half of those students will return, with a priority being K through 3rd.
We know distance learning does not work very well, or it's not optimum for our youngest kids.
Dr. Escobedo said also, while digital learning is in place, schools will be used for childcare through the YMCA, so teachers can utilize that service while in class. Digital learning for students starts August 31st. The district said they still have laptops for students who need them. They also said that they worked with the city to disperse 400 internet hotspots around Chula Vista. Reporting in Chula Vista, Vanessa Paz, ABC 10 News.
As we prepare for the new school year, ABC 10 News is helping families navigate the challenges that lie ahead. One of those challenges may be how to communicate with your children to help them understand the situation without worrying them. And this morning, we talked to a child psychologist who said one of the keys is leading by example.
Also want to think about how we just get through this and endure, especially day to day, because the way that we model our stress level and our coping behaviors, our kids pick up on that. So if we're not doing well, they're not doing well.
Dr. Wojciechowski says it's important to be open and honest with children, but also to tailor the message to their age level. One example she gave was maybe use the word germs when talking to a kindergartner instead of virus. For older kids and teens, she said it's important to keep an open line with them and help them minimize worries that they may have. 10 News is committed to helping San Diego families navigate the challenges of virtual learning. Join us tonight at 7:30 for a Safely Back to School special. Educators, experts, and everyday parents will reveal the best ways to keep your child engaged, educated, healthy, and thriving. Well, this morning, a local family who bounced back from coronavirus now doing their part to help others. Juan and Amanda Almaraz and her father Frank all contracted coronavirus back in May. In the months since, we've heard blood banks everywhere calling on people who've recovered to donate plasma. Well, today, Juan and Amanda and Frank all decided to do their part to help others and help to raise awareness. Plasma has been shown to help people fighting the virus. If you're interested in donating, reach out to the San Diego Blood Bank through their website. And now to the big picture and the latest outlook on coronavirus here in the U.S. as some models predict that tens of thousands more deaths are going to happen this month. Some regions of the country grappling with decisions to resume in-person learning. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more.
The coronavirus crisis continues here in the U.S. with little signs of slowing. New research from the University of Washington predicting the death toll in America could reach 300,000 by December. Dr. Deborah Birx issuing a warning to several cities and California's Central Valley that their increase in positive COVID cases could be an early sign of a new surge. And now Ohio Governor Mike DeWine confirms he's negative for the coronavirus. He was first tested as part of a routine screening just before he was set to meet with President Trump and gave a false positive.
And when I got to the airport, found out shortly thereafter that I had tested positive. So that was a big surprise.
There is some hope on the horizon. An internal FEMA memo obtained by ABC News suggests confirmed cases are coming down, and the nation may be coming off the peak of the national surge. But deaths are still climbing. CDC models forecast up to 190,000 American lives lost by the end of the month. These latest figures come as schools weigh the risk of getting kids back into the classroom. Questions over safety are growing.
I saw many people were not wearing masks, and it was making me feel really unsafe and uncomfortable to be in school.
Several school districts across the country have already reopened their doors. Teachers from all over America are protesting in-class learning as the pandemic rages on.
I teach high school. I've got 39 kids in a class. It's just not going to happen.
In Alabama, an entire high school football team is in quarantine after an outbreak. In Mississippi, a middle school football coach died while quarantining for COVID-19 symptoms. And Texas, now one of the nation's coronavirus hotspots, is battling a surge in hospitalizations and deaths.
24 hours, you can go from walking around to be intubated and actually in another 24 hours be dead.
Public health experts and scientists developing vaccines for COVID-19 say that they're confident one will be available by 2021. This in response to claims made by President Trump that a vaccine could be ready by November 3rd, Election Day. Andrew Dimber, ABC News, Washington.
Well, Mayor Kevin Faulconer has signed off on the deal to transform SDCCU Stadium into the home of the Aztecs. The university will pay $88 million for the 166-acre site in Mission Valley. San Diego State plans to turn it into SDSU West, which will include new stadium, housing, retail, office and research space, as well as park space. Stadium will seat 35,000 people. Crews could break ground as soon as next week and have the stadium ready by the fall of 2022. Today, the Border Patrol announcing the arrest of a man who was found with nearly $1 million in cash inside his vehicle. Happened Wednesday night in Escondido. Border Patrol says they pulled over a suspicious vehicle along I-15, and after a K-9 got officers' attention, they searched the SUV. They say they found the case stuffed inside the gas tank. Man was arrested, although the charges are unclear. The Border Patrol said that busts like these are often tied to criminal activities like the drug trade and human trafficking.